Hallo, ek is Edie. Welkom by my kanaal waar ons als saam doen. Just a disclaimer before we start, Asha is sleeping in the background and I didn't have the heart to move her. But she is snoring so loudly. So if you hear a sound, it's not me, it is her. In this video, I am going to teach you exactly how to pronounce the Afrikaans R. Now, in many languages, you pronounce the R the same way that you do in Afrikaans, a rolling R, but there are many other languages that do not roll their R's, and for them it is very difficult to pronounce a lot of the Afrikaans words because of that R sound. Let's start with how do you physically create the rolling R. So you take the middle tip of your tongue, you place it against the palate just above your middle front teeth. So not against the back of your front teeth, but above or just behind against the palate there in the middle. And then you vibrate the tip of your tongue against that part. Now I was thinking, how do I explain how do you actually get it to vibrate? Which I still can't properly explain. But it is a combination of vocalizing while breathing out. But there's also tongue movement involved. So then it becomes and you'll feel the tongue doing this against the palate. So that's how you create that r sound. Now you can just practice going r, 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 r. It's like saying the r sound and then which is the I in Afrikaans, r, 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 and then you sort of push the sound forward. That's one way to start practicing it in the beginning, especially if you struggle with it quite a lot. Your next step is to practice the r sound in the beginning of Afrikaans words. And you begin by practicing it in combination with the many different vowels that we mostly use it with. There are some of the vowels that don't ever follow a r sound. So I would say like the lang e, like the word in Afrikaans for fire, which is vuur, that e sound does not follow an r in the beginning of a word that I can think of in Afrikaans. So I left it out in combination with the r sound when it's in the beginning of a word, and I am struggling to pronounce r. It's difficult when you switch from Afrikaans to English, because English is that inside of your mouth pronunciation, and Afrikaans is exploding out, and then switching from in to out to in to out, then you start struggling to pronounce the r. I have to really think about doing it. But the combinations that you will get is the ones I give on the screen, which is ra, ro, re, re, ri. Well, that one is a tough one. And ri, rai, and rai, rai. That one is rai. That's a mouthful. Ro, ru, rai, roi, riu. I'm gonna look like I can't speak the language. Rui, ra, roe, and ria. After you've practiced all of the vowel combinations with the beginning R, you can move on to the R in the middle of a word. So we start with the R when you have a double R in the middle of a word. And the fact of the matter is there's no difference in pronunciation, especially when you speak fast. When it's syllables, it's different because then you will pronounce both of the R's. But when we speak, and I'll show you now, it's pretty much the same sound. Sometimes if you're speaking or talking more slowly, it sounds like you're rolling it or stretching it a little bit more. But really, in practice, it's exactly the same. So you look at the word karre. That is a word with two R's in the middle, but the word to its right, vere, sounds the same. And it's because we just make that one r sound in the middle, whether there's two or one of the R's in the middle. Then we have torre, klere, same sound. Narre, rare, sparre, spore. And also when we do speak and we speak fast, the r sound is going to be less pronounced. So it's not going to always sound as rolling as it sounds now. And then if you look at the syllables, though, it's different. So we have kar, r, and then fear, r, r. Ooh, it's difficult when the r sound follows a e or a e. It's harder, but we'll get to that. Tor, r, clear, r, nar, r. And you'll see when it's r, e, that's the phonetic pronunciation of both of those vowels. When it's that combination, we pronounced it as r, spelled r, and not re. There are instances where the r, e combination is pronounced re. But then a lot of the time, especially when it's at the end of the word, we will pronounce re as r. So just keep that in mind. Then we have spar, r, and spoor. And then to the right we have chorrel. Chorrel is a nice one because you both, if you struggle with both the ch and the r, this one's going to be quite something. Chorrel, and then korrel and borrel. So those are nice ones to practice that sound. Moving to r at the end of a word. I think that is harder. Often. Most of the time, depending also on the combination and the vowel it's combined with, then when it's at the beginning of the word. So we have ar, or, starts to struggle a little bit. Ir. That one's hard. I circled because you don't find that at the end of the word that I can think of. In Afrikaans, you will find it in a word, like in the middle of the word sometimes, also not that often, but there are a few instances. And then, of course, in names, where it's in the word, so you will pronounce it but it's not a regular thing. Then we have ir, and ir is also difficult. Ur, ar, oor, ear, ear. Now, ear is difficult to pronounce. Ear also, and then ear, and ear. Those ones are harder. To practice the more difficult pronunciations, we have ver, eier, leier, lekker, leer, keer, veer, figuur. As if we are not pronouncing that R that clearly when we speak as a figuur. Sometimes you barely hear the rolling R because we do skip the work. Tier, ver, sier. I'm having such a tough time. Begeer, eerder, beheer, spiere, kliere, diere, lekkerder, vererger. Okay, I didn't quite get that middle one. Vererger. Vererger, right? We don't say it that slow. Verorber. And then hierder. So these are nice tongue twisters, especially if you struggle with the R. I'll have to practice it as well. And here I have what I think are the most common combinations of consonants with r. And then I'll also tell you which ones are the most difficult, which I guess you can see from the picture. But we have brr. I'm already struggling. Drr. Frr. Frr. Oh no. Frr. Grr. Right, so if you struggle with and grr is definitely going to be out there. And then grr, brr, trr, fr, vr, rt, rd, rf. And then we have rg. Another tough one. Rk, rm, rp, rs, and rt. Oh, wow. Imagine. I shouldn't give you suggestions, but imagine somebody were to like take clips from this and post it without context. I'm never living that down. To practice the two more guttural and most difficult for some people to pronounce, we have this list of words. Vrg. That is to choke. Okay, I'm just leaving the gesture. Grot, grot, grauw, grond. We say grond. We pronounce it as a T. Gretig, borg, besorg, berg. And then, just to remind you that if there's an E following a G, the G changes to G. It's berg, and then berge. But there's a video on that, so if you haven't watched that one, go watch it. Then, chirurg, verwurg, verzorg, and now Boksburg. Now, I put this one in there because a lot of the names of towns in South Africa are Afrikaans names, and a lot of those end in burg. So the burg syllable is something to learn if you want to pronounce some town names. Quite a few town names, in fact, end on burg. Nazorg is aftercare. Terg, dwerg, verg, and erg. Of erg, depending on how you're pronouncing the e. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. If this helped you, please let me know. If you want me to make a similar video on, let's say, the sound, like a practice pronunciation video, let me know. If there are any other sounds, whether it's vowels or consonants or combinations in Afrikaans that you struggle with, and you also want me to make like a pronunciation video like this for you, please let me know because I do enjoy these. They're a bit more fun and definitely less hard work than some of the other ones I have made previously. And it's just nice to have some fun. A little bit of a smile for the day. Anyway, you guys must have an awesome day. I'll see you in the next video.